Getting ready to take the boat out?
Yes, we're gonna take it out once I figure out if these side stays and that forestay is right, and we make sure the sails all go on.
Oh, cool.
Then we'll be camping.
And it's what, 12:30 in the afternoon, and it's about 90 degrees. We'll see what time we actually get on the water. It's 4 o'clock. We've been at this for 7 hours. And we're just now on the water. But we're not really on the water yet. We made it. This sailboat thing is a lot of work. We started at 9 this morning, and we were not in the water until 5 o'clock p.m. This is our maiden voyage, the first time we've taken her out. So there's been a lot of things to discover and learn, a lot of missing pieces, but all in all, we're here. And she's floating. And it's going to be a full moon tonight. So I'd say it's a success. This is potentially where we're going to camp tonight. It's a pretty nice spot. Firewood already there. So I got the hammock set up, and this is a pretty nice place. A nice viewpoint of all the boats on the lake. Pretty sweet. Dinner. We've got vegetable tray, plant-based ranch, dolmost, stuffed grape leaves,
She said they don't call her firewoman for nothing. She made that fire.
I am a pyro.
Not that we need a fire because it's still pretty warm, and fires are really good at the campsite though.
Bug repellent.
Yes, bug repellent.
And bear repellent.
Bug and bear repellent.
And coyote repellent.
Coyote.
And wolf.
Wolf. Are the wolves?
It's a full moon.
Are the wolves? Oh, that's right. Wolves will be out. And there could be some, even though the conservationist folks say there aren't any mountain lions around, we saw some scat last time we hiked and camped that confirmed there are mountain lions. So
Yeah, there are. Those people are lying. You can't believe what you read on the internet.
true, even if it's a government website.
Absolutely. Even more so if it's a government website. fire.
Great fire at our campsite on a cliff overlooking Parksville Lake. Enjoying another boat up mini like we did on our hike last time. Robin made the fire. She collected most of the wood while I was dealing with the boat. The boat trailered here very nicely behind the Subaru Outback. We got it on the water and got the sails up, and I forgot to bring the manual to learn how to string the main sheet, so we had no main sheet, so we really couldn't sail the mainsail. And we got on the water, and this boat landing and lake today was so busy. So many wake boats, pontoon boats, pulling skiers, pulling floaters. There was one wake boat driving around in circles, and Robin felt like he did that on purpose to get us out of the cove that they were in. And yeah, it was just impossible to sail. It was impossible to try to get up the jib and even sail on the jib. There was a little bit of wind. If there was a lot more wind, we probably could have attempted it. There was just not enough wind. So we just motored along until we found a suitable place to anchor or dock or set up camp. So we found this small little cove. I had to tie down the boat bow and stern because the wake boats and the boat traffic continued to zoom by for several hours, and the boat was getting pushed onto a rocky shoreline. So I've got it floating in some depth with it tied off fore and aft. And tomorrow our plan is to see if we can sail the jib. The boat's been great. It is small. It's a 16-foot boat. We had a lot of stuff for camping. We've got all our camping gear from the backpacking trip. So all of our cookers, the tent, sleeping bag, everything. So the boat was packed full of gear. Plus food. We brought 4 gallons of water for cooking and coffee and hydrating. I don't know if you can hear the tree frogs on the video, but they are loud. And it's a full moon, and we are waiting for the moon rise. We just saw the sunset over the mountaintops. That was great. And there's no good branch to hang the food and the garbage from a tree, so I'm going to have to go back out onto the boat and run the food bags and the trash bags up the mast to keep the bears away. So.
And we'll be getting a dry bag because all of Brian's stuff fell in the water and now it's hanging out to dry. And then he lost his pillow.
Yes, my backpack fell in the water. It floated, but it took on water. Then we had put the tent up, and we got our sleep pads inflated and put in the tent. And like a silly person, I put my inflatable pillow that was in a roll on top of the tent. And me moving and jostling the tent pushed it off, and it rolled down the cliffside into the lake. And it floated away. And I just cried, Wilson, Wilson, I'm sorry, Wilson. Because it was just like Wilson floating away after he fell off the raft and cast away.
Yes, you can see how dangerous our campsite could be. How close to the edge we are. Even though it's almost dark, I'm sure you can see our tent is laying right in the middle of this little peninsula that juts out. And it's just one wrong step and you're in the water.
Yeah, it's about 20 feet from the water.
Or your gear's in the water.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're just waiting on the moon now. I cannot believe this. So we should have the boat out this morning. We should go sailing right now. Morning, Captain.
Good morning, Captain.
We're gonna have a sail today.
Yes, we're going to sail in this squall.
It's our private little cove. So pretty. Feel that wind.
So we have a downwind sail going as we leave the campsite. Captain Robin is in charge of the helm. And the campsite is right there. That's where we were. And we have a full jib, fully inflated, going downwind. Like I said yesterday, I forgot the manual, so I don't know how to string the main sheet. And so we're just having to sail with the jib. That's all right. First sail in this boat, lots of little things that we didn't know. I don't know if you can see the tiller handle. It was missing a bolt. I didn't realize that, so I had to take one of the bolts out and make an adjustment. Show them the bolt.
Oh, I'm gonna show them the spiders.
This is the stowaway.
Oh, he's so big.
Yeah, it is a big spider.
He doesn't want his picture
He
taken.
doesn't want his picture taken.
So we have our first, or not our first, but a problem. There's no wind. The wind has died. You can see the water is glass. And the motor will not disengage and lower. So we have recruited help. Help is on the way. What's the problem there, Brian?
The boat, the outboard engine mount, I can't get it to disengage to lower the engine into the water. And I didn't lower it while we were docked because I didn't want it dragging while we were sailing. So now I can't get it down.
So this guy pulled up in his boat. He said his father-in-law has a boat exactly like this, and they just happen to have a cabin right here behind me. So he went to go get his father-in-law, and they're gonna help us, hopefully, get the engine started. So we had a friendly tow, those folks there, to this little island. Well, Brian's gonna manhandle the motor. So before we head back, gotta take some float time.
Alright, can you pick it up? I got it.
And he fixed it.
Getting fixed. Well, we're gonna work it and see.
All right, Brian. What are some things you learned this weekend in our sailing adventure, in our very first sailing adventure on Trinity?
Yeah, it was good. I guess the first thing is, if it's the first time taking the boat out, get it rigged or set up completely in the driveway or in the yard before you take it to the water. We forgot the manual, and I didn't know how to rig the main sheet, so we were on the water unable to put up the mainsail. Even before that, the tiller handle was missing a bolt, so we couldn't bolt it to the rudder, and so we really didn't have a way to steer. Luckily, the tiller handle had 2 bolts, and I could take one out of the tiller handle and put it into the rudder, and it worked.
Good thinking on your part.
So yeah, it was lucky it had 2. So I'll be getting some bolts for that and the extra.
I think there's always going to be something that you learn along the way, because like the original Trinity's boat name was Always Something.
Right.
And there's a reason for that.
Right. Always something. That's not our mantra.
No.
What are your takeaways?
I think that's probably my one takeaway is you can never be fully prepared. Even though you can try, there's always going to be something that life's going to throw at you that you have to learn to navigate. As a captain, you have to learn to navigate, whether it's the water or the weather or the conditions or a malfunction on the boat.
Yep.
This really is a lesson in patience.
This weekend was a lesson in patience.
Yes, it was.
To getting it tied up with all the chaos on the water yesterday. The outboard mount not releasing and dropping the outboard into the water. And I had ran through that motor mount numerous times on land to get it right. And I couldn't get it right inside the boat. So got to do some maintenance on the mount. Got to do some maintenance on the trailer winch. And the shackle that connects the winch rope to the winch and to the boat is frozen solid. Can't get it off the boat. We had to cut the line yesterday to get it off the trailer.
Yes, which is a prime example that don't get upset or let it get you into a tizzy, because there's always a workaround.
Yep.
It may not be ideal,
Yeah.
but this too shall pass. You just have to figure out a way through it or around it, under it or over it. It's not always going to be a direct path with good wind.
That's right. That's right. Persevere. Adapt, overcome, improvise. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Whatever the Heartbreak Ridge Marine philosophy is.
Yeah, I will say it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We'd been preparing for this all day, and we were in the parking lot of AutoZone, watching men working on their vehicles in the parking lot, and you brought out those lights for the trailer, which was a great idea because you were stressed about not having working lights on the back of the trailer.
Yeah, there aren't many people that recognize hand signals anymore, and me pulling a 16-foot boat that's about as wide as my car, down the road and using hand signals to get their attention to slow and turn, and watching them not pay attention and run up on me with not having working lights. And yes, I should have checked the lights. I didn't. The car was wired. I had the car wired. Did not check the boat lights until we pulled out, and lesson learned. So I've got lights now, and we'll have permanent lights. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to our next sailing adventure where we can actually get the mainsail up.
Yes. Yes, I read the manual. Completely have an understanding of rigging the main sheet, and so we should not have any trouble getting under sail next time.
It was a fun weekend. I enjoyed the camping and the sailing. We had the lake all to ourselves this morning, which was wonderful. No boat traffic until the wind died.
Right. Had no wind. We were just drifting.
All right. Well, good job, Captain.
Good job, Captain.
Okay. Well, we'll try to make another video next time.
Yep, we'll do it. Yeah. Oh, speaking of videos, you sailing YouTubers and all you YouTubers, you are phenomenal because of how you keep that camera in your hand running all the time. There were so many camera-worthy moments this weekend that it's not my habit to carry a camera and to film everything. You that have a following, or have a following that's legitimate, because you're really putting in some time. We are really going to have to work to think about what we're going to film, and film or start over and film it. I'm sure there's a lot of starting over, oh, I needed to film this kind of thing. So we're just going to have to start filming everything.
Yes. Even the not pretty moments.
Yeah, and there were a lot of not pretty moments yesterday. Not anger or frustration. You commented how you're surprised I wasn't yelling or cursing when all my dry clothes and phone went in the water.
This is true. Yes, I was expecting I would have heard a word or two.
Yeah.
But you also spent at least an hour, if not an hour and a half, looking at ropes and how to tie the boat up.
Yeah, it was crazy how to get that boat tied so it wouldn't bang on the rocky shore, and it wouldn't push into a fallen tree, and it would not drift out. It had to be, yeah, you saw, crazy tied up, and it took me quite a bit to get it like that.
Well, this is the first sailing video in what we hope will be our future sailing channel.
Yeah.
When we transition into the bigger boat, also Trinity, and we take her out onto the ocean and travel and eventually, hopefully, sail around possibly the world one day.
Yeah. The goal is the Caribbean. The dream is sail around the world. So.
Yep. So
Yeah.
Good job on video number 1.
Good job, Captain.
Now back to work.
Yeah.